Here's a place where you can just be, relax, relate. It's such a soul free. Strong black woman, put that kick down. You're not superwoman, put on your crown. It's okay to cry, go ahead and breathe. Redefine the strength, wanna heal, believe. Strong black woman, you are not alone. This is your space, your mental health zone. We got your back and we know you got us too. In a circle, we sisters, we got hope for you. You've been everything to everyone but you. Stop that shit, girl, shift that focus back on you. We breaking chains, ending mama's curses. This journey's about self-love and girl, you deserve this. It's not a badge to hustle, always on the go. It's about boundaries, learning to say no. In this space, we uplift and grow. Together we'll find our peace, our inner glow. Strong black woman, put that kick down. You're not superwoman, put on your crown. It's okay to cry, go ahead and breathe. Redefine the strength, gonna heal, believe. Strong black woman, you are not alone. This is your space, your mental health zone. We got your back and we know you got us too. In a circle, we sisters, we got hope for you. Strong black woman, redefine your strength. Mindful and melanated, just do you, baby, just do you, baby.
Every time I hear that song, I be like, ooh, chat. I just love it. Do you like my song, Doctor?
I was I was over here grooving. You couldn't see me, but I was over here jamming like that slaps. Yeah, you. It's a good song. It's a good song.
So I don't know if you know this, but I like to write poetry, and it was actually a poem. And I found
Ah,
a woman who is a singer, songwriter, producer, and she turned that into a song for me.
nice,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I love that.
So
Yeah, that's good. Y'all did y'all good work on that
thank you. Thank
for
you.
sure.
So, thank you so much, Dr. Akua, for coming. Akua, thank you so much for coming on the Strong Black Women Support Group podcast again. I know we normally go live on Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, but we've been doing some like impromptu, live streams with different folks who are going to be part of the fifth annual Strong Black Women Redefined Conference. And so they are not only taking the time out of their busy schedules to bless us with some information at the conference, but they're also spending some additional time with me just to talk about different topics. And today's topic is does the trauma issue or problem have to be gone before we can start working on our wellness? And doctor, before we get into the conversation, can you do a couple things for me? First, can you define two words, trauma and wellness? And then can you tell us why you think so many of us Black women feel we need to fix or solve everything before we allow ourselves to focus on our healing and our self-care?
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down because I'm of a certain age and I be done forgot everything you said. So if you hear me clickety clack typing, that's because I got to remember what you said. So define trauma and wellness, and why do we think, what was the other question?
Why you're so
Can you hear me?
silly. I hear you. I'm over here laughing. Can you tell us why you think so many of us Black women feel we need to fix or solve everything before we're allowed to focus on our healing and self care?
Absolutely. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna answer that second one first.
Okay.
Um, and a friend of mine said that to me. We were having a conversation and it wasn't so much of a declaration, but it was a curiosity that she held. And she was like, I really don't see how can we heal? How can we do any of this work if the problem is still existing? And in real life, for Black women, we can go, buy a book, do a this, go do that, but we still got to go to that work that job Monday through Friday, and they still doing that stuff at that job Monday through Friday. We still have to be every woman in all of these different spaces. They want us to be able to fix it, to sell it, to buy it, to grab it, to wear it, to cook it, to chop it, to watch it, to clean it, to and organize it and facilitate it and put it in order. Like we have to do all of these things, and I think one of the reasons why we feel like it has to be all done is because we're looking for a break. And for so long, we've defined break as the absence of the situation, the absence of the circumstance, the absence of the problem. And I think there might be, and I don't want to call it, that was just our understanding. I think it's time for our understanding to evolve, that the break is not something that we wait for. The break is something that we insert. We create the break, but we've been looking for them or whoever them is, we've been looking for them to give us the break. We've been looking to be able to say, all right, I did it. It's all done. And unfortunately, the truth of the matter is never going to be all done. We still have, along with all of that fix it, clean and cook and stuff, we also have misogyny. We also have racism. We also have oppression. We also have all of these different things that we have to live through every single day. And the real true fact of the matter is, I don't think it's really widely hit us that we get to insert our own break. And so going to the definition of trauma and wellness, there are what's the word I'm looking for? There are like technical definitions for trauma, but I like to describe trauma as enduring memories of the problems that live in our body. It's an enduring memory, and that's why we get triggered because we remember the tough things that happened to us. We remember the harmful things that happened to us. We remember the abusive things that happened to us. We remember the oppressive things that happened to us. But we don't just remember them here. We remember them in our body. And add to that, and the reason why I say we don't just remember it here and here is because in our DNA is all of the harmful, abusive, traumatic, oppressive things that happened to our ancestors centuries ago. It's in our DNA. And so it's it's to really, really super simplify it, not because I don't think people can handle it, but just so that it's, I guess, relatable. It's pain that just it's a pain memory that's in our bodies. And so wellness would be any efforts that we make to alleviate that pain. Can we eradicate it? That's one of those philosophical questions that we can go through, for a long time. But we can absolutely do what we need to do to um, alleviate it, circumvent some of it. Some of it we can get rid of, right? But that would be wellness. Is I don't want to go too far into it. I'm just answer that question because I know we're gonna get into it deeper. But that's my quick and dirty definition.
Yes, I love that. And I love how you simplified it for us because sometimes I feel like these words and these concepts, when we hear trauma, wellness, mental health, mental illness, it sounds daunting. It sounds like a whole to do. And when
Yeah.
you break it down like that, it's very easy for us to consume. And so,
Good.
so thank you for that. Before we get into the next question, I just wanted to shout out the people who are watching us. Thank you so much. I'm a lucky girl. She says she loves the intro. Thank you.
Ain't
Erica
no
said that's her
fun.
jam. Yo, it's my jam too. I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but toot toot. Okay.
And you should. And all beep beep. I need to hear you tooting every piece of your horn.
Okay. Hey, Love Malungi, thank you so much. So yeah. So for the Black women who are listening right now who feel overwhelmed, right, by their circumstances, what's the first step they can take today to start their wellness journey, even if their trauma is still very present?
That one's difficult because the first step is different for everybody, right? It
Mhm.
depends on what you're experiencing. Sometimes the trauma is coming from an abusive situation. So there's a whole different um, set of things that I would recommend for a situation like that. Um, so if I can speak very generally and just put this huge disclaimer on the very beginning, when I'm answering this question, I'm not talking about abusive situations. Like if it's abusive relationship romantically, abusive relationship in the church, abusive relationship at work, in wherever. I'm not talking about those because that's a whole different conversation. If we're talking about the typical experiences that Black women have, you know, the shared experiences that we have, a first step, because again, it's still different for everybody, but a first step could really be beginning to connect with self. And here's why I
Mm,
think that's a first step, because we have been socialized and conditioned and raised and expected to put everybody before us. And that's more than just an action, it's a behavior. It's a mindset. You I'm sure you've heard it. A mother, a Black mother, tired as all get out. But yeah, they told me I gotta make cookies for my son's thing tomorrow. And they just now told me yesterday. It sounds like we going on the Lucky Store. It sounds like we going to Safeway to buy some packaged cookies. You baking and you tired? Oh, I can't do that because then they're gonna be talking about my baby. Then you put your spouse in front of you. Then you put your parents in front of you. You put your pastor in front of you. Then you put your job in front of you. To start the process, generally speaking, high level, start thinking about self. Start getting connected with that voice that we work so hard to silence, because she in there. It's that voice that be like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this no more. Why they keep calling me? How come they can't get nobody else to do that? That voice. Start talking to that voice. Be like, okay, why am I saying that? I'm tired. Why am I
mm,
tired? Because I'm doing this and this and this. Why am I doing this and this and this and this, right? We start to connect with ourselves, then we can start realizing what it is that we need. We know what we need. We so smart. And we so loving and we so caring, but it's usually directed at other people. So that is a first step. Is start knowing me. Start finding out what you need. And then along the way, give it to you.
um, listen, that sounds so easy. Because can I tell you, it took me a long, when I say long, LONG, long time
hmm
for me to just set myself down and just rest and not feel guilty about it.
hmm Can I tell you, oftentimes when I hear people say that, it's usually something um like traumatic that happened that made somebody say, "Oh, now I got to sit down." Because they saw something tragic happen to somebody, or something, unfortunate or tragic happened to them, or they heard about, right? It's usually something, it's never like, you know what? It is time. It's usually because something happened somewhere else that scared us
Mm,
into giving ourselves that kind of attention. And that's indicative of the fact that, excuse me, though we need it, it's there's so much within us. Like I said, we've been socialized, so we not just making a new decision, we're breaking tradition, we're breaking rituals, we're breaking expectations. Some might call it those are the kind of things that I would probably even call a generational curse. The expectation to always be on when I just want to go sit down, right? That would be something that I would put up there with a generational curse. We're breaking those things, so that's why it's so difficult. And I don't wanna say, I don't disagree with you that it's difficult, but it ain't as hard as we might think, because we can make a decision, and the part that makes it, that adds the challenge to it, is after we make the decision, all of the feedback that we get from all those wonderful people in our lives. They got so much to say.
so much. Start a
You
blog.
t listen. Damn, I don't wanna get your
I live in
Oh
an
my
apartment,
god.
Doc. Don't get me put out because I have a very loud laugh. Do not get me put out.
I didn't say that. You
Lord.
said that.
I know, right? Look at me projecting, blaming her.
Start a blog. Ooh, I'm gonna
Lord.
borrow that. Ooh, they gonna hate me now.
Listen. But
It's true.
you said a lot, like, cause I feel like I feel like you just clocked my tea because like right now I'm being we talked about this before we got on about my naps, right? Right now I'm being super intentional about like my rest and taking care of myself and giving myself grace for when I need to rest. And I think it's because I literally just recently had, some medical stuff where I was like, okay, Regina, your clock is like like you can expire at any moment,
Yeah.
you know? And so not that
Yeah.
what I had was life threatening. I don't want to put that out there, but it's just because I was going through all that. It was a simple reminder, not simple. It was a reminder that like Regina, like you can't be doing the most for all these other folks because if at the end of the day you drop, they're gonna call somebody else to do it. You know how they say get somebody else to do it? They
Period.
will. They
They
will.
will. Quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Okay.
And medical, anything medical, it brings us to an awareness. It doesn't have to be anything super serious, but sometimes certain medical circumstances brings um to our awareness, what's that word? I can't think of that word, but like that we are not physically eternal, right?
Right,
It brings
right.
us to it brings that awareness. And it doesn't have to only be medical things, but yeah, that's definitely one of the things that brings that to our awareness. And people will genuinely be sad if Akua is gone. People will genuinely be, just broken up about it.
Mhm.
And people will also say, well, we need another person to come
Right,
facilitate this training. We need another person to come. They'll,
right. That
and
part.
so,
Oop,
not
sorry.
that I have any problem with that because that's the way it goes. And I don't want to prioritize those people over me. And it's so that this is what makes it not personal, right? I'm not coming for nobody. I'm wanting to live for me. I'm giving for me. So it's not personal against any individual, but I don't want to prioritize someone else and their expectations and their needs over my own when I'm gone, you going to keep going. You'll be sad, of course, because I'm great. But but you know what I mean? But you're gonna keep going. And I love that for you. And I also want to make sure that I get to live this life like I want to live it and in consideration of myself. It doesn't mean apathy to other people's concerns. It doesn't mean I'm never going to be there for another person. It just means I'm going to make a practice and a habit out of choosing me first. And this is a process. It's a process. And it just takes a decision. I literally think I'm gonna change my answer to your first question. What does a Black woman have to do? Decide.
Decide. I like what you said. Like it's no tea, it's no shade. It's just putting me first. And I know like, on social media, a lot of folks who are in the mental health space or are trying to be in the mental health space say things like you got to detach, you got to detach, you got to be stoic. And it comes off very, I don't want to say combative, but that's the first word that came to my mind. It's almost like you're still putting that other person first by being like, "Oh, f them." And it's not an f them. It's to love me, right? Like how you said, center yourself first. It's like you could detach, I suppose, but apathy is not going to serve you either, right? You
No.
need to be empathetic to yourself, not apathetic to
Yes.
others. That's just how I feel. I
I
mean, I
agree.
ain't got no degree in mental health, but I'm just saying, as a black woman who lives in America and is enduring the colonizers out here and
Period.
capitalism and misogyny and the patriarchy. That's all I'm saying.
Period. I say, just as an aside, all of the women who were enslaved Black women, and they wrote books and they wrote manifestos and they did speeches. None of them
Mm,
had any kind of a degree, and their lived experience is data. Their lived experience is the anecdotal things that have carried us on for generations. It is, um, what word did you just use? I don't know. I'm gonna say it's sufficient, but I want a better word than that. So that part there, and then to go back to what you were saying, I super agree. It's not apathy to them; it's empathy for me.
to you. Just say like every time I'm in Dr. Akua's presence, I don't know, like I ain't gonna lie, I be dropping some gems, and it's because of you. Like I'm talking like this on a regular.
Pause. I
I'm
came with
just
you.
regular Regina in real life, but every time I'll be like, yo, it's just something about you that brings it out.
Imma just say I don't believe you. Imma just say that. Imma just say listen, because I can't put nothing in
True.
nobody. Listen, mm-mm.
It's
It's
true.
there. It is already there.
It's
It's
there.
just
You're
when we
right.
get
You're right. You're right.
together, we both share it out. So yeah, I ain't did nothing but
Yes,
share mine.
I'll receive that. So, I'm a lucky girl says sometimes it's so hard not to put everyone first because it feels like a failure. And that actually brings me to my next question. What would you say to a black woman who feels like starting her mental wellness journey now, before resolving her issues would be selfish or irresponsible, or feeling like a failure because you need the rest? Like, what would you say to us?
Just do it. I First of all, I understand and agree that it can feel like that. And part of the reason that it feels like that is because we talking generations. Look at what our history
Mhm.
has been in this country. We were what's another word? Like we were groomed to be otherly minded. It is a part of our identity. You
Mhm.
hear, I hear Black women all the time, and their identity is wrapped up in where their kids go to college, what their kids did as a extracurricular activity in school, and
Mhm. Mhm.
how good their spouse looks when they're out in the world doing their thing. It is a part of our identity, and that is why it feels like a failure, or it feels like we're being selfish, or we feels like we're letting everyone down. And honestly, that's one of those self conversations. Um, Say that differently. That's one of those conversations that we can have with ourselves. Because if someone were to come to you and say, "Girl, I'm so tired. I don't know what to do," and we give such good advice, we'll be like, "Girl, listen, we'll take that break. Do what you need to do." And the reason we can do that is because, okay, y'all, don't don't cuss me out when I say this because I'm about to say something and you might disagree with me, but just listen, don't leave. Hear me out. Part of the reason why we give such good advice is because we lightweight judging her because she can't handle it.
Woo.
Wait, don't go nowhere. Because if we weren't judging her, it wouldn't be in our mind when it's our turn and we feel that way. Because when I say to myself, if I stop, I just then they gonna think I'm a failure, and then I'm gonna be, I will have failed and I let everybody down. That is projection. You feel like that. And the reason that you can comfort her is because you would never tell her, get up, do it anyway. Be strong. Like you're better than that. All that stuff that you say to yourself, you would never say that to her. But there's a piece of you that's like, well, shoot, I can handle it. I'm doing it. And I think there's a part of you that genuinely wants her to get rest because that's another part of you. There's
Mhm.
a part of you that also wants to get rest. You want to take a break. You want to push pause. You want to escape to a remote island that has somebody bringing you fancy drinks and yummy food, and you don't got to do nothing but sleep and rest all day. It's why we criticize people for doing it. She got
Mhm.
2 kids. What's she doing? You got 4. You got that husband at home. What you doing? It's why. It's like y'all know how they say internalized racism?
Mhm.
I don't know what the ism would be, but it's internalized. We've been socialized with it, and we also believe it ourselves.
It's internalized strong black womanism. Mic
There we go.
drop.
Yeah, I just want y'all to know I love
Lip
y'all.
gloss drop. And
Internalized
Kathy,
strong womanism. I like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
And Kathy says we all need braids. Can I just tell y'all something? This is what it looks like when you have a black woman as your therapist, because I my tea was clocked yesterday. My tea is being clocked right now.
Mm.
Like, these women, these beautiful black women went to school to learn the theories and the thises and the that's, but they also inject their own personal lived experience, our personal lived experiences, into how they help heal us and treat us. That was a tough pill to swallow,
It
because I'm
is.
not gonna lie, I found myself say, "Oh, girl, rest," but I'd be like, "Child, that wouldn't be me."
I mean, I listen, I can go. I was literally just in here with my daughter, and for whatever reason, I decided to move my house around. And right before I'm getting ready to do this, and I'm rushing, I'm going fast. And I was like, "Oh, I'm so tired." Commences to keep doing what I was doing, and she said, "You just said you tired. Why did you keep going?" Well, you gonna just put me on Front Street like that? That's just what you're gonna do right there? And I had to come face to face with the truth of it. I'm not just the hair club for men president. I'm also a client. In other words,
Listen,
all of these things, like you just said, this is from my lived experience. And yes, I got all of these, theories and methodologies and all these things learned, and I've got my lived experience. And the truth of the matter is, I love us. And I know we always have that thing, skin folk, all skin folk ain't kin folk, or something like that.
you would have messing up stuff.
Um,
I'll play.
I always do. I always do. What you can count on me for is to mess up a saying. All right. If you need somebody to mess up a saying, I'm your girl. All right. I'm your girl. I will
I
never
can't.
let you down.
Don't give me. Oh my god! I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
It's, but, but I love us. I love us. And I see
Yeah.
us out here doing the daggone thing. I see us out here putting in work. We are,
Facts.
if it's happening, it's because we did it. If it's happening, it was one of us on the board, pushing the buttons, pulling the levers, pulling the strings, making the strings. We did it. And because of all of this socialized stuff, it's really hard for us. And we have these feelings like guilt. And what did she say? We feel like a failure. I want
Hmm.
to say this to you. You are not a fail. You're gonna feel like it, but you're feeling like it because it's socialized. It's stuff that's been carried down from generation to generation to generation. And the same thing I said to that first question is true. When you start to have those thoughts and those things like, I really want to sit down, but I don't want to feel like a failure, have a conversation with yourself.
Yourself.
Literally call yourself by your name and be like, why would that make you a failure? Are you tired? Your body is telling you that you need to lay down. Why won't you lay down? Talk to yourself like you talking to 5-year-old you.
Mm.
If you talking to 5-year-old you and a baby come to you and say, "I'm tired," would you tell that baby, "I don't care. Go clean your room, go walk the dog,
Right.
go." No, you would say, "Well, baby, go lay down." Talk to
Right.
you like that. Let
Child.
you be the recipient of all of that love and care. Yeah, I'm gonna stop because Regina be like, "Friend, let go of the mic." Um,
That's not true.
you probably should. If I get on that particular topic, I'm just saying you probably should.
Well, then we got to have you back, because that's a very important topic. Talking to our inner child, our younger self. Actually, my brother, who is an artist, did a painting called Inner Child, and it's beautiful. I'll share it with you, so you can see what it
Please.
looks like. But Terry K, who is my man, my mommy, hey moms,
Hi.
she says exactly. We need to remember that we're not indispensable. People will replace us in a snap, especially an employer. Like, boo, you ain't Beyonce to the left to love, irreplaceable. You heard what you heard what she told that man. You are not irreplaceable to the left, to the left. And these, I was about to
And
cuss.
listen, I've been holding it back. I've been doing real good. No, you're right. And that's one of the tough realities of it. And these are the conversations I'm gonna speak from my perspective. These are the conversations that I've
Mhm.
had to have. I was harassed on a job and I had the HR person and my manager both in different ways, literally though said, get over it. I'm not paraphrasing. They both said that to me. And so what I had to wrestle with in that moment was this job is paying me nicely. It was a nice little something something. It was in an organization that I admired. I loved that
Mm.
organization. And the truth of the matter is, I was being harmed and they were not willing to do anything about it. I, in real time, I no longer work there. They've posted the position and I think they might have hired somebody. But when the thing was happening, I had to have that conversation with myself. Am I more important than then am I more important in this situation or is my job more important in this situation?
Mm.
Securing this money, is that more important? It comes from it's not easy. I want y'all to know I'm not trying to make it sound like, oh my God, it was just so easy. I just quit my job. It was not easy.
Right. Right.
But I had this physical, I call it scribble scrabble in my stomach. I had this like ball in my stomach every single day. On Fridays, it would alleviate just a little bit because I knew I didn't have to go in on Saturday. But come around on Sunday and it was back in full flare up, right? I had a headache. I can't remember now where it was. Usually it's like on one side, but I think this one was like in the back of my head. And these are my body is telling me,
Mhm.
Akua, stop, don't do it. And I had to ask that question. I know I'm indispensable. I mean, I know I'm not indispensable. I know they will replace me in a snap. I
Mhm.
also know that if I keep trying to push and force myself to continue in this environment and at this pace, I'm going to snap myself out of here.
Literally.
Yeah, I'm more important than that.
Yeah, I'm glad you made that move, and you're right. It's not an easy decision to make. I mean, like you said, it was an organization that you admired, so it's not a decision to be taken lightly. And it's,
At all.
you know, it's not easy. But you made, like you said, you made that decision, right? And that's the first step. Make the decision. Um, Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I made that decision. So there are other options. So if you decide to stay, it is possible to the theme of what we're talking about today. It is possible to say, I can't leave because I do recognize that that comes from a
Mm,
standpoint that
mhm.
not everybody can say I'm gonna leave. And
Right.
there's nothing wrong with you if you can't leave. You didn't do it wrong if you stayed. I'm not trying to say that leaving makes me the hero and I'm the better black woman. Absolutely not. I made a choice. Okay. We all have to make the choice that's best for us, right? If you do stay, there are things that we can do in those spaces to take care of ourselves. It starts with getting in touch with self. Like that's literally the first step. Know you. Talk to
Mhm.
you. Learn what it is that you need and want and then give it to you.
Right. Facts. So, I just want to take a quick pause so we can address some of these comments because the comments are flooding in. Yo, we
I
got
love that.
Akua in the building. And so, Robin, that's my big sis. Hey, sis. She says, like my
Hello.
literal sis. She says
Okay, hey
sometimes,
sis.
sometimes I feel guilty for sleeping past 11 a.m. Then I tell myself I deserve to sleep in since um, I get up early 5 times a week. Exactly.
Period. End of story.
Exactly. And the end of the
End of
story,
story.
right, exactly, end the story. And it's
Yeah.
like, I'm glad you having that conversation with yourself. And then Erica says, ooh, I was clocked earlier this week by my therapist as well. Like, ouch, yo, for real. She was like, my
Thank God for
therapist
that.
clocked my tea so hard. I was like, you're right. I mean, I
Like
couldn't
I mean, why
stay,
you gotta get at me like that?
you know? Like, you
Um,
want your copay? No, I'm playing.
that part, listen,
I'm
be
just
nice to
joking.
me.
I love you. I love you. Oh my God. She's probably watching. I'm just joking.
She gonna pay you. She for real. She gonna pay you. She not
I'm just
playing.
kidding.
Um,
Oh yes, and Robin says to our point about having lived experience. She said you need to go through something to educate others. Yeah,
period. Facts. Facts,
Yeah.
facts, facts. Um, I wanted to go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
And then I'm a lucky girl said, I feel that I had to leave a 20-year job. It was so hard. Yeah.
Mm, yeah.
That's tough. 20
Yeah.
years on the job. Whew.
And I think it's like I did that. I took care of myself. I left a job. I was there for 20 years and it wasn't healthy for me. I left. Not getting into that thing about well, why it take me so long.
Right.
You took the time
Exactly.
it took and you did it. And you did it.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
I'm trying to remember this lady's name. I was trying to like look it up, but I didn't want to be so engrossed in my phone. There's a lady who has this black lady. Oh, Nap Ministry. Nap
Yes,
Ministry.
I've heard of that. Yes.
Yeah. I I love the idea for your sister who said, sometimes I feel guilty sleeping past 11 a.m. I promise you, just yesterday, I woke up. My body wakes me up. I haven't had an alarm clock in years, and I woke up at my normal time, which is around like anywhere between 5:30 and 6 o'clock, and I just stayed in the bed.
Mm.
I stayed in the bed. I didn't get out of bed until almost about 10 o'clock. One day, yeah, 9:45. I got out of bed at 9:45, and one of the things that my therapist said to me, I'm gonna pass this on. She said answer those voices because a lot of times it's our self-talk that's repeating the things that we've heard from other people. So when I feel guilty, there's no person peeking in my window like Keenan Ivory Wayans message. There's nobody saying, "Oh my gosh, shame on you," right? Nobody's saying you shouldn't be sleep. A lot of the time, a large percent of the time, it's us playing it back. It's our voice saying, you don't need to be in this bed. You got to do this and do this and do this. And you sitting up here laying here. And so my therapist was like, talk back to it. Like, why you still staying in the bed? Because I'm tired. Why you ain't got up yet? You got to do those dishes. They'll be there. Why you don't get up? I get up every day early.
Mm. Mm.
Today is Saturday. I'm going to take this break. As a matter of fact, I'm also going to put in for some PTO for a couple of weeks from
I
now.
know
So
that's
I
right.
can take, right? Uh, We 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 have to connect with ourselves so that we can start disputing. Is that the word I want? Disputing those voices. That's the way because no matter what book you buy, no matter what process you go into, you are the main character in that story. So you
Mhm.
have to convince the main character that this is what she needs. She needs rest. She wants rest. She wants space. She wants time. She wants to care for herself. And then you get to give it to yourself, right? But connecting with self, that's a first step. That is a first step. Decide and then connect with self. What do I need? What do I need? What do I want?
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, because I literally had a whole argument with myself. When I tell you I had a whole argument with myself, I'm like, "Oh, get your BA out of this bed." Listen, we're not on the radio. I can curse. Get your black ass out this bed. And I said, "For what? Because you
Period.
got stuff to do." I said, "Girl, it's Sunday." She was like, "You right." Yo, I
Right?
had a whole argument.
Because it ain't gonna take long because we know what we need. We are the expert on ourselves. We know what we need. So you might give yourself a little bit of pushback, but after that 1-2 punch, you're gonna be like, "You're right, that's true.
Right,
Okay, that's my
facts.
bad. All right, let me go sit down
Exactly.
somewhere." You know what I mean? We
Yo.
we just have to let ourselves the fact that and here's the thing, somebody loves it. Somebody is like, "I don't mind being there for everyone. Yes, I am every woman. Yes, it is all in me." Sure. If you like it, I love that for you. I really want you to keep doing what it is that you want to do. But for those who don't, every time you hear yourself constantly pushing back against why I got to do this and I'm tired, why I got to, you know what you need. And if you
Exactly.
talk back to it, it ain't gonna take long for you to be like, that's true. Okay, that's true. Let me just go ahead and lay down. And it'll
Uh,
become easier and easier and easier.
yeah, exactly. Right. Like I'm a lucky girl. Not she said when it's you, child. You would think it was a whole nother person the way I was fighting with myself. Like
It get deep.
Regina Renee.
It get deep.
And Kathy, yo, the whole family came through. That's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Right.
So Auntie Kathy says, LOL, rest, girl, take the mental health days. I know that's right. Get that PTO. And I just want to remind y'all,
Period.
right. I just want to remind y'all that actually Friday, October 11th is National Black Girl Day off. So I'm not saying call out, but I'm just saying Friday, October 11th is Black Girl Day off. Just saying.
Would you say
Just
Friday,
saying.
October 11th is National Black Girl Day off?
Yes.
So
I'm
I
serious
am.
too. I ain't joking.
No, I know. I was just trying to keep saying the date and so that people could hear it and they can take the day off and then they come to the conference the next day.
Yo, you can make a whole weekends out of it.
Just saying. Just saying.
Okay.
And I
Love
used to
Lucky
feel
says,
bad.
I've been using
Oh,
all
go
my
ahead.
PTO. I know for real.
Period. Period.
Oh, look at that. See? She
That's
took
what's
it
up.
off.
Amen.
And she's gonna be at the conference the next day. So she made a
Hey.
whole weekend out of it. Mm-hmm.
That's what's up.
Just saying.
I'm telling you, I used to feel bad. So I'm not the person who like will be good in a crime, right? So I couldn't call my boss and be like, I need to take a sick day because I'm not sick. I started saying, I'm not feeling well because
Mm,
wellness is all inclusive. And
I know
so
that's right.
if I wasn't feeling well mentally, emotionally, I'm not feeling well. I'm going to take today off or I'm going to take tomorrow off whenever I'm calling in for. I'm not feeling well. I'm going to take this day off. That
Mm-hmm.
way I can honor myself and not have to feel bad because I told a lie. And I can also get the day off that I needed.
Exactly.
I used to do that with my kids when they were young. I would get up in the morning, do everything like normal. We're gonna cook breakfast, we're gonna do all our little fun stuff and drop you off at school. And they didn't know it. I U-turn right on back home so I could have the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know because if I told them I was taking a day off, then they want to stay home with mommy. No, ma'am, no,
Oh no,
sir.
no, no,
I'm
no.
gonna
We're
need
not
you
doing
to,
it now.
yeah, yeah, I need you to go to school today. They find out after you didn't go to work today. I sure didn't. I did not. I did not.
I did not. Kathy said, "Oh my, give me a reason." I know that's right. The reason. Uh,
Hey, don't start because I'll go.
I can't sing, but I love to sing. I got a funny story I'm gonna tell y'all. So I'm a lucky girl says, "Ooh, I feel that. Don't like untrue excuses." There you go. I'm not feeling well.
I don't. I don't. I would feel so guilty. That's where my guilt would come in. Like, oh, why did I lie? I'm not feeling well, and that is facts.
Yeah, and I'm not the one to commit crimes with either because see, I have a really bad memory. So if I told a lie, like I would legit forget. And they'd be like, Regina, I thought you said you had to get a new
Nope.
elbow on Thursday. That's what I said. That was
Nope.
a
Didn't say
dumbass lie.
I didn't come up with nothing more clever than that.
That's what I
Oh, I'm bad. I'll be like, oh, they got us. They got us, y'all. Look, the police over there, way across the street. They got us. Come on out.
said.
We caught. Officer,
Right.
you're good, because here we are.
Here
Yeah,
we
it's all
are.
bad.
We're going to
It's all
jail.
bad.
So Robin says you taking Monday off too. I know that's right. I'm a lucky girl said new elbow. Yo, I can't. I'm not a good I'm not a good liar. I just nah. So I like that I'm not feeling well.
And let's turn that to us. Let's turn that to
Okay.
us because oh, if I'm not good at being dishonest about why I'm taking off, why would I continue to be dishonest about needing to be off?
You see what I'm saying about clock and tea? You see?
Yeah, that's what we do. Apply, be your whole self for your whole self. Bring that all
Yeah.
back in there. Bring that all
Being
back in there.
yourself for your whole self is so freeing. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but it's definitely easier than not being authentic and not being true to yourself. Because that's a whole burden.
You we
Self-imposed.
self-imposed. That's the gag. The gag is I'm doing it to myself. That's messed up.
Mhm.
That's messed up. That would
Right.
make me sit back in my chair for a little bit.
Right.
Because and it's not easy, but it's also not difficult. Like it's not as difficult as as it may seem. We have a history of Black women in this country who have done some amazing things. They've overcome some amazing things. And I personally think my belief is they did all of that with me in mind. Give me a lump in my throat. They
Mm-mm.
did all of that with us in mind.
Mhm.
I feel like I'm dishonoring them if I
Mm.
continue that cycle. Every single thing that they did, you know how they be like, "Oh, so and so walked, so and so can run." It's literal for them. Like they crawled and scratched and fought and suffered.
Mm.
And we have certain what's the word? I don't know why I'm struggling with words today. We have certain permissions and things that
Yeah,
we're allowed to do today because of that. Man, I'm gonna take that PTO. And I'm not asking, I'm informing you
I'm just
that I
letting
will
you
be
know.
off. I am letting you know. I'm not coming in that
F
day.
FYI, Kathy is officially off on October 11th.
Hey.
Kathy said, "Let me log in. Let me log into PeopleSoft real." Y'all finna
Kathy is not playing. Kathy's like, let me tell you what I'm not playing. All
y'all
right.
not
I'm
doing.
not playing.
Let me log into PeopleSoft real quick. Y'all, listen, y'all
Oh
got
my
my
side.
camera falling. See, y'all play too much. Y'all play
Oh,
entirely
you got my
too
sides hurting.
much. She said exactly. Listen, y'all, yo,
Oh
I done broke
shoot.
my camera. Fooling around with
No
y'all.
way.
No, I
Did
didn't break it.
you?
It's just not sitting right. That is hilarious. I can't stand y'all. I cannot.
Play with me. Play with me if you want to. I'm off.
Right,
Boom. I'm
right.
not coming in. I'm off that day.
I'm a lucky girl wants to know if Dr. Akua is going to be at the conference, and the answer is yes.
Yes. I
Yes. So
shall
come
be
through.
there. I'm so
We
excited.
still have tickets left. So go onto the website. I actually have it streaming at the bottom. So I'm a lucky girl. If you're going to be in the Boston area this Saturday, please check her out. Get the ticket and come through. Come
It's a
through.
whole lot of dope Black women on that roster. I was
Yo,
like, "Are we finna be in the building?" Like,
yo.
you were not playing you brought some fireballs into the place. Like, I'm excited.
Listen, I don't play. Like, when I put on an event, it's an event. And you know, I just want to say a couple things. This is a conference, but I don't want folks to hear the word conference and think, oh, it's stiff and we got to wear our blazers and our, you know, stilettos. I mean, you can wear stilettos if you want. I'm a sneaker girly or flat girly, but it's about coming together, building community, and healing. Right. This is not one of those events where it's and this is no Tino shade, right? Like there's a women empowerment conferences and stuff, and it's like a lot of hoopla and it's getting us riled up and stuff like that. But this particular conference is I curated this so intentionally so that you can actually walk away with tangible things that you can incorporate the very day, the very same day. And so um, when you come to this conference, make sure you are prepared to do some work because these workshops, like I said, they're not speeches. We
Mhm.
have some speeches, we have keynotes and things like that, and opening remarks and stuff. But we're going to be doing some work. So if you're not ready to do some work, if you just coming to hear some gospel music or jumping up and down and running up and down the aisles, like I said, no tea, no shade. That's just not what we do. It's just not what we do.
Yeah.
So if that's what you're expecting, please stay home respectfully.
Oh.
Buy a ticket
Or
for a friend
or
who's ready
come.
to do some work. Just
Yeah,
saying.
I was gonna say, if you're expecting that other thing, reframe your thinking and then come. I've attended a lot of the conferences that you're describing, and it feels really good while I'm in there. Oh my gosh, it's such a great time. Such a great time. I kid you not, when we leave, when it's over, there's, oh yeah, I love it. Oh, it was so great. It was a great time. But there was nothing tangible. There was nothing to walk away with that I could practically apply to my life. I'm a how kind of girl. I
Me
love to
too.
hear the what. Oh, okay, that's what you did. I understand why you did it. That's dope. How?
How?
I because and I'm not gonna like pathologize myself and say that I got something because I've never been diagnosed, and I ain't saying it ain't true. It's just nobody's ever diagnosed me. Whatever it is, I need more. I need something tangible. What can I sink my teeth into? What can I put my hands on? What can I do? How can I take
Right.
this and apply it to my life? Um, yeah, and that's one of the things I'm really, really geeked up for here.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree because it's like, why are you spending all this money to get riled up? I mean, listen. I'm cheap. I can get hype at home watching 90s R&B YouTube videos. Okay, like I'm not gonna be
Okay.
dropping almost $200 to get hype. Unless it's a Beyonce concert, which I know her tickets ain't that cheap no more. But if that's different. That's different.
Okay. I like how
That's
you did that real
different.
quick U-turn. But wait. No, hold on. Wait. I got one thing.
I'm a lucky girl said I'm struggling to make it, but I want to so bad. I'm a lucky girl. If cost is an issue for you, DM me on Instagram at mindful and melanated. Okay, DM me and let's talk. If cost, I don't want to make any assumptions. I'm not like counting your money or trying to put you on blast, but if that's the issue, please DM me on Instagram at mindful and melanated. He says PTOs prepare to others. That's right. Adjust the
Period.
schedule. Adjust the
Yep.
schedule.
Be advised.
Oh,
Yeah.
my mom says she's still using practices from the first conference.
Amen. Amen. And
Ain't
and
that
to
something?
for the record, this is the fifth
Fifth,
annual. So she's still using the one from all the way back
the
there.
first.
Okay, you
Hmm.
doing something.
I'm trying, child. Listen, there's a lot. We have to heal as individuals and as a community as Black women because it ain't being done for us. So we have to do it for ourselves. And I don't
You
know if
do.
y'all know my story, but the reason why I started my organization and I started the conference was because I was looking for a peer support group specifically for Black women, more specifically for Black women who appear to be high functioning, because a lot of us appear to be high functioning when really we hide behind that strong Black woman mask and we are literally struggling. Like I was
Yeah.
dealing with suicidal ideation daily. Like my whole adult, I don't want to say my entire majority of my adulthood, I suffer from daily suicidal ideation. But you could never tell. You would never be able to tell. Oh no,
Yeah.
not me. Right?
Yeah.
So so yeah, Kathy says very interactive. Yeah, it is very interactive. Like one of the workshops is a woman who's going to show us how to do somatic movement.
I love
Right?
that.
We're going to get up and move. So make sure you dress comfortable. I mean, we're not going to be doing no aerobics or nothing like that, but like this is the type of stuff that we're going to be doing. We're going to get you out your seat. You're going to be moving. There's another woman who's doing somatic art therapy. I don't know if she's bringing paints, color pencils, whatever, but this is the kind of stuff we're going to be doing at this conference. Okay.
I'm keep going, please. I'm geeked. I'm geeked. I am. I really
We
am.
have a woman, Dr. Gaines. She's coming in from Michigan, and she is an expert in the strong Black woman syndrome. And she's going to do a workshop on embracing vulnerability, because for a lot of us, vulnerability is seen as a weakness. And that is one of the traits of the strong Black woman syndrome, us feeling like being vulnerable is weak, right? And
Yeah.
so she's going to help us unpack that and process that.
I I don't want to I don't want to steal anybody's thunder. I want to share somatic. Um, that was something. It goes back to something that I was saying at the top of our time together today, when I was talking about how that deep pain that lives in our body.
Hmm.
You ever have like, look at, why my back hurting, or why I got that weird crick in my neck, or why is my head just hurting just out the blue? Our body feels these instances of trauma that we experience, and it's like, where I'm gonna put this, what I'm gonna do with this. Just because the situation is over doesn't mean that the pain is. Just because the situation is over doesn't mean that the story has ended inside of our body. And so when they start talking about the somatic movement, which I am beyond geeked for, it's
Yeah.
moving that stuff out of our body, because our
Ouch.
body's like, where do I put it? So when you start moving in
Hmm.
all of these ways, I'm not trained in that, and I'm beyond. That's why I'm so geeked. When imagine your body being like a pantry, and all the trauma experiences that you have, you put it on the shelf like you put your canned foods and whatever, and so it just stores in there. And then the pantry becomes overwhelmed because you're running out of space. The somatic movement stuff that they're going to be doing is like a way for you to clear out the pantry. So you get to move that stuff out. And it's like you're doing like a spring cleaning of some of those trauma memories out of your body. So it's dope AF. I'm gonna be right
Yeah.
there in the front.
No, facts. And thank you for that analogy, because that's a really good way to explain what somatic movement does for our body, and what trauma does to our body. Um, so yeah, Love Belungi says she can't wait. And Love Belungi is actually going to be a vendor. Is this the third year you doing it, girl? I think it is the third year.
Hey,
She
hey.
sells the most, when I tell you, the most amazing cosmetics,
Ooh,
girl,
okay, okay.
amazing. She has this lip scrub.
Mm.
Listen, I told myself this year I'm only bringing a certain amount of money to spend on these vendors, because they will take your money.
Well, yeah, I'm starting my skincare situation. So,
Yeah,
who was that again? Love
Love
Belungi?
Belungi.
Okay, I'm gonna
Yep.
be looking for you. I'll be looking for you. Yeah, because I want to get
Listen,
my situation situated.
yeah,
Um, yeah. What's
it's
something
it's
else
it's
she
gonna be a
said?
dope day. I'm a lucky girl says, "Girl, it's easy to count my money, child." No multiplication needed. You silly girl. Me too. Me too. She said, but I'm feeling this vibe of Black women together trying to move through our daily struggle while understanding our individual struggles. Because like Dr. Akua said earlier, in the conversation, like when I had asked her the question, what's the first step you would have us do? And she's like, well, there's gonna be a different answer for different people, because we're all different. But we do need to heal collectively as a population, as a group, and we can still empathize with our individual struggles. Yo, my mom says she love that lip scrub. I'm telling you,
Okay, I'm coming
yo,
for you.
I
I'm
don't
coming
know,
then.
love. I don't know your process or how you make your stuff, but listen, what's that little girl's name that got that makeup line? The girl from Barbados, Rihanna. What's the
Oh,
name?
Fenty.
Is that the name of the makeup line, or is that her
Hmm.
underwear line?
Fenty is
Is
it
that
might
the
be
name
both
of?
and. Yeah.
Listen, I'm just saying. You might need to scoot over. Rihanna, can you scoot over just a little bit on the Sephora shelf, because Love Belongi. Just
I'm
saying.
excited. I'm
Me
excited.
too. I
I'm
am
excited
too.
to be in that space. Like I was saying before, like I love us. And
Mm,
you know, like the we may not get along on certain situations, and it's fine. We don't need to be best friends. We don't need to be friends. I just want to I want to share in the healing space. I want to share in the space where we learn how to put ourselves first. And it is a practice. And it sucks. Can I just be honest for a
Practice.
second? It
Hmm.
sucks that I gotta fix what somebody else broke, but I'm not fixing them.
Girl,
I'm not fixing
girl.
their stuff. My work is for myself first. Does that sound selfish? Okay, myself first, and then my daughter, my nieces, my son, every black woman, I don't care if every degree of melanation, this is
Hmm.
what I'm here for. This is why I
Hmm.
do what I do, and I have to practice caring for myself because it is challenging to do this because we're pressing against. It would be different if it's like, oh no, look at the tragedy, and now we have to clean up because the tragedy is over. It's happening in real time.
Right.
And so to the point of what we were talking about, like does the trauma have to be over before I can start working on it? Like it's happening in real time. And
Literally.
I get
Daily.
to, right? Day moment by moment. I almost try to avoid so much time on social media because with two scrolls you run into some BS. With two scroll you roll into some foolishness. Right? Somebody got something else to say about us. We over here minding our whole black business. And we always in your mouth. We always the topic of conversation. I want to see us well. I want to see us well. And we get to individually, I don't remember who said that. Somebody said it about individually. We get to define what well means for us as a community. Discovering that
Mhm.
together is such a powerful thing. It's such a beautiful thing.
It really is. And like Kathy said, self-preservation is extremely
Period.
important.
Period.
And I actually had a question about, and I know we're at the top of the hour, so I just want to ask you this question and have you give us some last words before we wrap up because I do want to be respectful of your time. Can you talk about how wellness and mental health practices can serve as a form of resistance and self-preservation for Black women, especially when we're still in survival mode? A lot of us are still in survival. I know I am. I know I is.
Listen, I thought of this thing, the reason I'm grinning. It's like, how dare you? How dare
Mm,
you sit down and take a break when there's still work to be done? You got a lot of nerve. That's pretty audacious of you to say, I'm going to take a nap in the middle of the day when it's stuff to be done. And the
mhm.
reason, like, that is a weird way to answer that question, but it's Audre Lorde has that quote, and oh my gosh, I'm so in love with Audre Lorde, where it's talking about my preservation and my self care. It is an act of resistance because
Yep.
every time I stop to take care of myself, I am saying in the face of this society and this system that insists that I keep going and keep going and keep going, I'm gonna be respectful. I'm saying forget you. I want y'all to figure out what I really wanted to say right there. It's
I'll say it.
resistance.
Fuck you. Fuck that shit.
It's resistance because I dare to take care of myself. Because societally speaking, from our history in this country, it has been poured into us that we can't do that. Our ancestors had from sun up to sundown,
Yeah. Mhm.
6 days a week. And even
Mhm.
on the day when they wasn't, it's just because they was doing their church thing, and that was the only time that we had that our ancestors had. But it's not like they was off the hook. If they needed something, then they 100%
Right.
would go and bother one of our ancestors to get it. So to
Mhm.
say I'm going to take a break is literally a slap in the face of that long-standing expectation and belief that is present in this country that says you don't get to. And I'm saying, damn that, I'm going to.
I'm going to.
So
Facts.
going to. So me taking care of myself. Okay, follow me on here because I know it's supposed to be closing words, but this ain't really a
Take your
closing
time
word.
because I'm a lucky girl says she needs more of this. So people want us to stay.
Gotta give the people what they want. One of the reasons why our wellness and our mental health are linked is because we are essentially gaslighting ourselves when we avoid taking care of ourselves. We're
Mm,
telling ourselves, keep going, keep going, don't stop. You got to do it. They're going to be mad. You're going to be a failure. They're going to be disappointed. All the while at the same time, we're telling ourselves, I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I need a break. I
mhm,
need to rest. I want to rest. I want to sit down. I want to. So, what must it take for us to convince ourselves to keep going, even though we need to take a break and we hear ourselves asking for it? We gaslighting ourselves. That impacts our mental health. And that ain't even talking yet about the stuff that happens outside of us. All of the oppression, all of the fact that you show up somewhere and you know you working 4 times as hard, you getting what is it, 60 cents on the dollar. You're better than them. You training them to be your boss, but you're essentially doing the work for them. These are the things that we ain't even talking about all the stuff that happens outside of us. That is why it impacts our mental health. So we are actively being resistant every single time we say, I'm going to take a break. I'm going
mhm,
to go for a walk. I'm going to sit on the phone and talk with my friend. I'm going to take a nap. Whatever a break looks like for you, I said this at the top of our time together. When we stop waiting for them to give us a break and we start inserting it ourselves, that's resistance. That's a big slap in the face to those who
mhm.
say, you're not supposed to, you can't do it. Watch me.
Exactly. Kathy said, like they say in church, take your time because this is good stuff. All right, since it's church, we
Take
finna
your
pass
time.
around the collection plate. We finna pass around this collection plate. How about that?
It's time for
The
tithes and
cash app
offering,
is right
church.
there. The cash app is right there. I don't play. Don't play with me, y'all. Listen, I know I'm goofy and silly now. Don't y'all know that? Don't play with me. I'm prepared.
Listen, don't mess around because I'm a little churchy, so I get to singing the hymn that we sing at offering times.
Y'all know I'm silly. And I told y'all every time I'm around Dr. Akua, something just come out. Bless the cash app. Bless the cash app.
I love it.
Not did
I
you
love
take
it.
Bitcoin. Now you know good and well.
That's me
I'm
closing
sick
the
of y'all.
curtain. I just
I'm sick of y'all.
too funny.
Oh
Y'all are
my god. Yeah.
hilarious.
But this was
Y'all
an
are hilarious.
amazing, amazing conversation. And I do appreciate you taking the time out to just talk with us, share your knowledge, drop these nuggets. Dr. Akua is going to be at the conference that's happening this Saturday, the day after National Black Girl Day off. I'm not telling you to call out, but I'm just letting you know October 11th, Friday, is National Black Girl Day off. And the following day, Saturday, October 12th, is the fifth annual Strong Black Women Redefined Conference. So if you want to see me too. If you want to see me and Dr. Akua in person, please do get your tickets. The website is there. I'm a lucky girl. Don't forget to DM me on Instagram. So yeah, any last parting words you would like to share with us before we end the live?
You know you. You're the expert on yourself. So listen to you to learn what it is that you need and then give it to you.
Y'all heard that. We have a bunch of thank yous in the chat to
Thank
you
y'all.
and to me. Um, Let me see. Will any part be no? So the conference is completely in person, and that's intentional so that we can have an environment where folks feel comfortable to share because people are going to be processing some stuff, and we just kind of want to make it an intimate, environment. So we will not, unfortunately, be live streaming part of the program. That we could definitely think about doing something separate and apart from that. But as far as the conference, no, it's everything is in person. So, all right, folks. Well, have a great night. Yeah, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so that if you want more of this, you'll be alerted. So, but you got to make sure you hit that notification bell. Notification bell. All right.
Notification bell.
Bye.
You've been holding it down for so long, carrying the weight, staying so strong. But it's time to let go of the pain. No more hiding behind all that endless rain. You've been told you need to be better than the rest, running through life, feeling all that stress. But here's a place where you can just be, relax, relate, set your soul free. Strong black woman, put that kick down. You're not superwoman, put on